Hey guys, D.Bowie here, and this is Things I Learned with Arteezy Slark. This game is a very interesting one. Arteezy gets a pretty good laning phase, gets pretty much every last hit, but dies. As a level 5 Slark against a Bounty Hunter and Spirit Breaker at 7 minutes into the game, it's usually pretty standard to want to get level 6 before going back to the lane, since it gives you a little bit more safety. Arteezy wanted it so bad, that he went all out in the vegetable camp, but if you were aware with EG's gaming house videos, you would know that they love their fast food. The fact that the little center was there also reduced the amount of damage that Dark Pact did to them. And yeah, in these cases it's always a good idea to kill the potato first, to focus your right clicks in the potato, because the magic reduction really hindered the Canadian boy DPS. You can see that the tomato actually almost died there. Anyways, with Bounty showing bottom, he decided to get level 6 in lane, since he's so close, and we start to see the first thing I want to talk about. When Slarks have a bad game, and I'm not saying that Arteezy had one, but it was definitely not an ideal game for him, they tend to go Midas. And yeah, sometimes it can be a good idea, but what I want to destroy here is the idea that Slark is not a good hero at farming. Spectre is that hero. She farms ultra slowly, has terrible mana pool, and her skills don't help her farm too much. Dark Pact uses HP to farm and almost no mana, and as a Slark, as you go from camp to camp, you regen that HP. When he's going towards the other side of the jungle, he spots Bounty Hunter. Pay attention to this tiny detail when Arteezy farms the jungle. Most players will be either too afraid and completely retreat, or they would farm the camp without really questioning anything because Bounty is not able to solo kill him. Instead, he goes to the high ground to see if there's a ward or a vision on him there, and there was not. Well, against Spirit Breaker and Spectre, that initial Bounty Hunter threat can escalate a lot. You can see that he pings the location as soon as he sees that Shadow Dance is not working, which means he is either under Bounty Hunter vision, but probably charge as well. He had vision of Spirit Breaker pretty far away from the minimap though, and I really like that he pounces before committing the ult TP trick. Spectre was probably waiting for the pounce to actually hound in, and now pretty much no one can stop him when he does it. And since he knew where Spirit Breaker was, there's really no fear. He traded his ult for a way more valuable one. As he goes back bottom, Spirit Breaker starts dancing with Ember Spirit. Spectre is dead, and even though CM was not necessarily out of position, she was paying way too much attention to the mid lane. Usually this type of play is pretty dangerous, especially considering he has no Shadow Dance available. CM had ult and mana for every spell, he checked the inventory, but since she's so squishy and Haunt is on cooldown, he kills her during Dark Pact and there's really nothing she can do. One thing that's very important in Dota is how pressure works and how fast it can move. As a Slark, this type of play is huge for him. He has way above average move speed with Shadow Dance, and with CM dead and 2 heroes TPing bottom, he knows that he can go top and farm there for close to like 80 seconds with pretty much no fear. He has a ward in the top lane showing TPs, and he only needs to be really careful when Haunt is up again. A lot of players will try to farm the Ancient jungle or even Radiant's jungle, but that's not the right play at all. As a Slark that didn't have the best farm in the laning phase, you want to farm safely and get your Shadow Blade ASAP. Since we're talking about items, I want to talk about my take on why Midas is bad this game. Slark is a hero that can ruin a Spectre game. Silver Edge takes all the tankiness away from her, Pounce counters Spectral Dagger and Manta, two of the things Spectres usually have to get away from ganks, and Midas just delays your pressure and timings way too much. You want to kill Spectre with Shadow Blade repeatedly while she has like half the gold for Radiance. Not trade your farm with her and have Midas and Silver Edge when she finishes Radiance. Because yeah, maybe you can kill her during the downtime of Haunt, but if she kills all your allies every time when she haunts in, she will eventually outcarry you. Knowing that most people are bottom, Arteezy decides to farm the enemy jungle. Some benefits of that. Well, first he went there looking at Shadow Dance and knows that no one has a clue about this, so this is not the first place they're gonna go looking for him. He also has a ward scouting the T1 top and a TP in case he needs to perform the Shadow Dance trick again. Since we were talking about creating pressure, look what Arteezy does here. He sees Timbersaw walking around, and instead of running away in fear, here, he goes on him. The important part though is how he goes on Timbersaw. He doesn't commit any cooldowns, he wants to make Radiant think he is interested enough in that kill to force a TP reaction while he can go elsewhere and mind his own business. He pounces away when the TP comes, and he doesn't even need to TP since he knows that Spirit Breaker didn't charge in. So by doing these types of plays and walking away, he was able to move the pressure away from himself while he kept decent farming speed. He's actually top of the net worth. As he goes back to the camp, we see him making sure to look at the Shadow Dance debuff, spots the ward, and also stacks the camp to get even more farm. The way Arteezy can spot easy kills is something that really baffles me. He could have been farming the jungle since every spawn just showed up. The fact that 2 heroes are dead only increases his safety. Instead, now he goes for a kill. A kill that is not so important but could force more reactions, or if it doesn't, it means that Radiant will take a long time until they have everyone ready to 5-man. I guess this is one of the things that you most want as a Slark. After all, you thrive on pickoffs. Slark can be a decent hero in teamfights, but not when he only has Shadow Blade. Anyways, the creep wave is dying as he approaches the mid lane, CM is showing up, and he makes sure to go around. So not only he gets a better angle, but he's sure that no one has vision from him or that no one is there to react instantly. Easy kill, and even though it's not the most gold effective move he could have gone for, it had the potential to force TPs or a Hound, which is great for him. For instance, if he can force Hound with that rotation, this means he would have Shadow Blade ready before Spectre has Hound again, making Spectre a possible kill later on. But Arteezy, as a true NA player, has to engage into crazy fights when he needed one goal to finish his Shadow Blade, feeding without getting any kills and actually not purchasing any of the items. Anyways, he finishes Shadow Blade, and as he TPs to start hunting, he finds the poor CM again. Not the best target, but you gotta go with what you have. Look how Arteezy instantly knows there's a sentry there. Still, it's an easy kill. All he has to do is not press Dark Pact before attacking unless CM uses any skill on him. After the attack, he instantly Dark Pacts, and I love how he pounces here, pay attention. As he's going around the trees, he has a very small vision of CM. Instead of pouncing right away, he waits until they are aligned. Afterwards, he goes for the same rotation he went for earlier. Getting that bounty room kinda alleviates the financial burn in case he doesn't find anything, and by paying attention and spotting Spirit Breaker charging Amber, he postures around to help. Easy kill. In this clip here, Arteezy is TPing bottom, and we see how map awareness can really be helpful. He was interested in either ganking Spectre or that CM, but he knew she had sentries while she farmed that camp. As he goes in invisible, look how he sets up his camera. He's not looking at Spectre, he spotted that courier in the minimap, and the fact he spotted it that fast is the difference between Spectre having a relic to farm his radiance faster or not. Since Amber was following him as well, they force Hound on top of it. Great win. I feel like a lot of people use Shadow Dance the wrong way in their games. People use it to not get focus in every gank they go for, and that usually leads to overcommitting, especially when you're against a team with Bounty Hunter, Spectre, and Spirit Break. Since Haunt is down and he sees everyone top, he can easily dive that CM. I love how he used that tree spot again to his favor and instantly gets the CM there. This fight is super cool. Arteezy spots his allies around the area, and I feel like he was baiting. You can see that he doesn't thread switch and he maintains everything on strength for most of the time. Timbersaw TPs in, and you can see how hard the matchup for our fish boy is. Arteezy tried to guess Bounty Hunter's path in, which is bold, but can result in Canadian-styled fried fish if he's not careful. He ends up Dark Pacting and hiding for a while. This is something that always helps. Players forget that one of Slark's greatest strengths is being able to regen so fast in situations like this and actually going back and getting even more of their Sunshift stacks. As he tries to leave that spot, don't get confused. Rubik stole track, but there's a sentry somewhere. You can see that Arteezy took a while to notice that Shadow Dance was off. Timbersaw was trying to get the right angle to hit Slark, but when he gets tracked, it's clear that something's up. Paying attention to cooldowns is the key to this fight. This is probably one of the biggest differences between 5k players and everyone above them. Shuriken Toss has a 10-second cooldown and Chakran has 8-second cooldown. So when Arteezy leaves that area, he knows that he only really needs to worry about Chakran since he has decent HP and magic one. So now look at Arteezy's clicking patterns. He was super aware of what Timber could do, and even though he could have killed Bounty, he disengages from the Chakran first, gets the kill, and ends up killing Timbersaw on top of everything. All of that though started with Haunt being spent a few seconds before. This type of fight could be their downfall if they did it while Spectre had the ult ready. This is one of the biggest problems I face in my low 5k games. It feels like it's very hard to convince your teammates how aggressively you can play once a key cooldown was spent. Anyways, great fight from our bearded boy. Oh wait, there's a poor and defenseless maiden in the tier 1 jungle. I should jump in and kill her, right? Cooldown awareness again proves to be important, since our boy understands that consent matters and he doesn't want to deal with restraining orders anytime soon. Freezing Field was ready and there was a good chance he blew himself off going for that kill. Radiant has a pretty decent lineup against Slark, to be honest. If Slark didn't purge track before using ult, he can take the shuriken damage that bounces off someone. CM also wrecks him under Shadow Dance, and while Timber, we saw what he can do. Well, this wraps up for today. If you enjoyed this video, please guys give it a thumbs up. If you want to see the extended version of this video, check the link in the description. Pugna is a platform where you can learn from people like Chessie, Fogg, Monib, and get better at the game. They have now great content on the new patch, and if you want to raise your MMR, it's a great time. Just figure out the patch faster than others and get those easy wins. And if winning MMR is not enough for you, you should definitely check out our new partner, Lootcase. There you can win and find beautiful cosmetics and go from 0 to hero. Also, they give you a bonus on every deposit you go for, but if you registered with my referral link, you're gonna get an even bigger bonus, so check that out.